let's look at the possessive case of singular nouns. To form the possessive case of a singular noun, you add an apostrophe and an S. This will show ownership or relationship. Here's an example. I found the hat of the mechanic. To make this more concise, remove the prepositional phrase and take the singular noun mechanic and place it in front of the hat to show ownership. Now it reads, I found the mechanic hat. Well, it's still not correct. When there's a possessive singular noun, add an apostrophe S to show ownership. The final answer should read, I found the mechanic's hat. Let's correct the following phrases together. Notice how all the nouns in the sentence are singular, so we will need to add an apostrophe S to show ownership or relationship. The sculpture of Clara should be read, Clara's sculpture. The bicycle of a friend should read, a friend's bicycle. The job of Dave should read, Dave's job. The fur of the cat should read, the cat's fur. The cover of the book should read, the book's cover. What if the singular noun ends in S, like for example, Texas? A proper noun ending in S may take only an apostrophe to form the possessive case.
This is not true.
The addition of the S
I
would
missed
make
this.
the name awkward to say.
That's not
The
true.
parks
Ignore
of
this part.
Texas
Blah, blah,
should
blah,
read
blah, blah.
Texas
Blah,
parks.
blah, blah. I watched
Adding
it,
an F.
but I must have missed this part. No, keep going. Keep going. No, because I don't know where, I don't remember where it ends.
This makes it difficult to say.
Nope, that's not true.
So I can leave the extra S.
I
off.
missed this part when I was checking out this video.
Now we'll take a look
Okay.
at the possessive case.
Now
of
we're going
plural
back.
nouns. To form the possessive case of a plural noun ending in S, you add only the apostrophe. Here's an example. The habitat of the lions is a den. To make this more concise, remove the prepositional phrase and take the plural noun and place it in front of habitat to show ownership. It should read, the lion's habitat is a den. Because the noun lions is already plural ending in an S, you just add the apostrophe after the S. The final answer should read, the lion's habitat is a den. Here are more examples. The union of the carpenters, notice how carpenters ends in S, so it should read, the carpenters union.
Notice
The
where the
apartment of
apostrophe
Garcias
is.
should read, the Garcia's apartment. The salary of 2 weeks should read, 2 weeks' salary. To form the possessive case of a plural noun that does not end in S, you add an apostrophe and an S, just like you would with a singular possessive noun. Here's an example. I will put away the shoes of the men. To make this more concise, remove the prepositional phrase and take the plural noun and place it in front of shoes to show ownership. It should read, I will put away the men's shoes. Because the noun men is already plural without ending in S, you will need to add an apostrophe and then add an S. The final answer should read, I will put away the men's shoes. Do not use an apostrophe to form the plural of a noun. Remember that the apostrophe is used to only show ownership and relationship. Here's an
This is
example.
important.
Lewis gave the 2 girls their folders. In this sentence, girls is plural, but in order to show possession, another noun must immediately follow. But in this sentence, you have the word their, which is a possessive pronoun followed by the noun that belongs to them. And in this case, you have a possessive personal pronoun, which will never have apostrophes. So to correct this, it should read, Lewis gave the 2 girls their folders. The only time you will see an apostrophe on a possessive pronoun is when it's an indefinite pronoun. Here are some examples. Someone's pencil, no one's hat, everybody's favorite flavor, and neither's homework answer.
Okay, stop it. Just press. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Zadie, go ahead and turn the lights on. So on Monday, we talked about singular possessive nouns. So a noun that is singular, meaning one person, place, thing, or idea that owns something. Today, we're going to talk about plural possessive nouns. So at the top of your notebook, of your new clean page, you need to write the title, Plural Possessive Nouns. And then, of course, today's date, which a lot of you have probably already written. So, plural possessive nouns. For those of you at home, if you cannot see, it's plural, P-L-U-R-A-L, space, possessive, P-O-S-S-E-S-S-I-V-E, space, nouns, N-O-U-N-S. Plural possessive nouns. That's what we're going to talk about today. Ethan, is your hand up? Yes, Ethan. Don't forget to unmute yourself. Yes.
I accidentally left my notebook.
At home?
I accidentally left my notebook on accident.
Okay, well then what you should do is when I'll post the video of this lesson later and just listen for now, and then you can just go and copy the notes later so that you have them if you ever need to go back.
Okay.
Okay. So just listen for now so that you can get a lot of what we're talking about. And then you can just copy them into your notebook later.
Okay.
Okay, so plural possessive nouns. Well, let's do a quick review of singular possessive nouns. So put your dot on the pink line. Singular possessive nouns end with apostrophe. Oops, I spelled it wrong. That's apostrophe. Don't write apostrophe. Apostrophe, which looks like a comma up at the top of the line, not the bottom, and S. Yes. Apostrophe is spelled A-P-O-S-T-R-O-P-H-E. So singular possessive nouns end with apostrophe S. For example, who would like to give me an example? Don't forget to tell me what they own. Victoria. So what would we say? The would we need to say has? No, because we're using a singular possessive noun. So how would we write that? How do we write man's? And what does he have? Shoes. So the man's shoes. Who can give me another example of a singular possessive noun? Carla.
The woman's.
Make
The
sure,
woman's
guys, please,
purse.
when I ask for an example, please make sure that you have the example before you raise your hand. Who has an example in their mind already, ready to give me? Cullen.
The girl's dog.
The girl's dog. How do we write that?
G-I-R-L''S.
The girl's dog. We're talking about one man. Victoria, what does he have? Shoes. Here we're talking about one girl. What does she have, Cullen?
A dog.
A dog. Very good. So there is a quick recap of Monday's lesson, singular possessive nouns. We have a singular noun, man, that's only one of them, and he has shoes, so we put apostrophe S. The girl's dog, we have one girl, she has a dog, so we have apostrophe S. Now, go back to the pink line, put your dot, and now let's talk about plural possessive nouns. used when a plural noun owns or has something. So plural possessive nouns are used when a plural noun, meaning more than one person, place, or thing, owns or has something. Okay, put a little space between your pink line and your dash. Somebody's making a whole lot of noise with their feet. It's very distracting. So, for plural nouns that end with the letter S. So most plural nouns. We know most plural nouns end with the letter S. If you have a plural noun that ends with the letter S, you only add an apostrophe. Remember, an apostrophe looks like a comma. That's at the top of the line. So for most regular plural nouns that already end with S, you only add an apostrophe. For example, two girls, dogs. How many girls do we have? Michaela? Two. The plural noun girls ends with S. So we are not going to add apostrophe S, which would say two girls' dogs. That doesn't make sense. We're only going to add an apostrophe after the S. So do you see the difference between the girl's dog, which means one? So we have apostrophe S, but if we have two girls, we don't add apostrophe S because that would sound like two girls' dogs, and that is not correct. So we just add an apostrophe after the S to say two girls' dogs. Another example. Six sharks' teeth. How many sharks do we have? Zari.
Six.
The plural form of shark ends with what letter, Zari?
It ends with S.
So are we going to add apostrophe S to show that these six sharks have teeth? No. What are we going to do to show that these six sharks have teeth?
You're going to put the apostrophe after S.
Good, because we don't want to say six sharks' teeth. We just want to say six sharks' teeth. Is everybody with me so far? So if you have a singular noun, even if it ends with S, like the dresses buttons, well, we would still write dress with apostrophe S. Because how many dresses are we talking about? Victoria. Aaron. 1. The usually means one. Otherwise, I would say those or these. The dresses, buttons. Also, another way to tell that I'm only talking about one is because where did I put it in the notes? Did I put it under plural or singular? Colin?
Singular.
So how many dresses am I talking about? Class?
1.
1. Since I'm only talking about one dress that has buttons, I still put apostrophe S. Because if a singular noun ends with S, we still put apostrophe S. The only time that we do S apostrophe is if it is a plural noun that ends with S. Like girls. If there are 2 girls, girls ends with S. If they own something like dogs, we put S apostrophe. Sharks. The singular form is shark. The plural form is sharks. We only add S apostrophe. If the plural noun ends with S, you only add an apostrophe. Every singular noun ends with apostrophe S. No matter what the last letter is, every singular possessive noun ends with apostrophe S. Every plural possessive noun that ends with S only has an apostrophe at the end. But do all plural nouns end with S? I hope everybody's paying attention. Do all plural nouns end with S? Please don't lean in your chair. Kingston. No, they do not. So I'm going to erase just this part, plural nouns that end with S, because I don't have enough room. But I want to leave plural possessive nouns because we're still talking about plural possessive nouns. So, plural possessive nouns that end with S, you just add an apostrophe. But, so go underneath your dash, line this up. Plural nouns that do not end with the letter S. So if you have a plural noun that does not end with the letter S, to make it possessive, you add apostrophe, which looks like a comma up at the top of the line, and then the letter S. So even though these irregular plural nouns do not end with S, even though they are plural, you don't follow the same rule as plural nouns that end with S. Because plural nouns that do not end with S, you do add an apostrophe S. For example, $20 men's shoes. Men is the plural form of what singular noun? Men is plural for what? Smith?
It's plural for man.
It's plural for man. Does men, even though it's plural, does it end with S, Smith?
No.
No. So we can't just add an apostrophe because then we would have 20 men's shoes. That's not correct. So we had to add apostrophe S. So if the plural noun does not end with S, you follow the same rule as singular nouns. Add apostrophe S. So really the only exceptions to the rules are when you have plural nouns that end with S. Let's do another example. $40 people's tickets. 40 people's tickets. People is the plural form of what word? People is the plural form of what word? Carla?
People's.
Carla, listen to the question, please. People is the plural form of what word? Michaela? Person. If we're talking about more than one person, we don't say persons, we say people. Does people end with S, Michaela? No. So do we follow the rule of only adding an apostrophe? No. Because if a plural noun does not end with S, we have to add what, Michaela? Apostrophe S. So remember, singular nouns, to make them possessive, you add apostrophe S. Plural nouns that end with S, do you add apostrophe S? Carla?
Yes.
Plural nouns, Carla, please listen to the questions. Plural nouns that end with S, do you add apostrophe S? Victoria?
No.
No. If a plural noun ends with S, what do you do? Good. You put an apostrophe after the S. What about a plural noun that does not end with S? Do you just put an apostrophe, Zari?
No.
No. What do you do if you have a plural noun that does not end with S, Zari?
You would add apostrophe S.
Very good. You would add apostrophe S. What about if I have a singular noun that ends with S? Do I just add an apostrophe? Cullen?
No.
No. If I have a singular noun that ends with S, do the rules for singular possessive nouns change?
No.
No. So what do I add to make a singular noun that ends with S possessive?
You add a apostrophe S.
You add an apostrophe S, just like dress. I wouldn't say the dress buttons, because if I took off the S, I'd have to say the dress button. And does that sound right? No. The dresses button. So imagine what you're saying. Whenever you're adding apostrophe S, you're adding an extra S sound to the end. If you're just adding an apostrophe, you're not adding an S sound. You're just showing people that it's possessive. Okay. How do you feel about this lesson? What do you do if you have a singular noun that you want to make possessive? What do you do if you have a singular noun that you want to make possessive? Michaela? Add apostrophe S. What do you do if you have a plural noun that ends with S and you want to make it possessive? Carla?
You add a apostrophe.
You add an apostrophe. Do you add an S, Carla?
No.
No. What if you have a plural noun that does not end with S and you want to make it possessive? What do you do, Aaron? If you have a plural noun that does not end with S and you want to make it possessive, what do you do? You add apostrophe S. Anytime you add apostrophe S, remember you're adding an extra S sound to the end. So read it to yourself. If it sounds correct with an extra S, add that apostrophe S. If it doesn't sound correct with an extra S sound, don't add the apostrophe S. If I said 6 sharks' teeth, does that sound right? What did I do wrong if I say 6 sharks' teeth? What did I do wrong? Zari.
You didn't put the apostrophe after it.
If I say 6 sharks' teeth. Zadie, what did I do wrong?
You added an extra S from the beginning.
I added an extra S when I didn't need to. I put apostrophe S instead of just apostrophe. I had more than one shark. I think, Zari, that's what you were going for. So, but we just needed a little more clarification. If I have 6 sharks, that means I have more than one shark. Plural of shark ends with what letter, class? S.
S.
If a plural noun ends with S, do I add apostrophe S, class?
No.
No. So let's look, excuse me, let's look at the guided practice. So guys at home, Ethan, you may not, you may have this with you, you may not. If you don't, that's okay. You can just go back and make sure that you have it later. Everybody at home, you do it. It's the one page. Excellent. Exactly. They have important information that we will need to answer the question. Now we just did a lesson. I just told you all this important information. So why do we need to reread it if I just told you this? Why should we reread it even though I just told you this information? Zadie. To help you memorize it, to help you remember it. If I tell you something 700 times, well, are you probably ever going to forget it in your entire life? No. So if I tell you something 2 times, or you read something 2 times, you are much less likely to forget it. It will help you. It will remind you. It'll jog your memory, which is an idiom. Because am I actually making my brain run? No. Erin, please read the first bullet point, loud and slow. Everybody else, go ahead and read it with her in your head.
A plural possessive noun is a plural noun that shows ownership.
Good. Just like a singular possessive noun is a singular noun that shows ownership, a plural possessive noun is a plural noun that shows ownership. Please read the second bullet point. Zadie, loud and slow.
To form the possessive of a plural that ends in S, add an apostrophe.
Good. That's that note. If the plural noun ends with S, give me an example of a plural noun. Let's write a couple examples of a plural noun. Who has an example of a plural noun? All you have to do is give me the plural noun. Smith.
Sharks.
Sharks. Another example of a plural noun that ends with S. Mason. Potatoes. Michaela, one more. Guys. Good. So all of these plural nouns would be examples of words that we would only add an apostrophe to make them plural. The shark's teeth. The potatoes' skins. The guys' pizzas. Read the last bullet point. Kingston, loud and slow.
To form the possessive of a plural noun that does not end in S and an apostrophe and S. A few nouns have the same plural and singular.
Good. Who can give me an example of a plural noun that does not end with S? Cullen. Men. Another. Zari.
20.
What? What's another noun, a plural noun that does not end with S?
People.
People. What about one of these plural nouns that's the same when it's singular and plural? What is a plural noun that is the same exact word, singular and plural? Aaron.
Fish.
Fish. So if I wanted to say 10 fishes dinners, how would I write that, Aaron? If I wanted to say 10 fishes dinners, how would I write that? Who can help her out? say 10 fishes dinners, how would I spell fishes? Mason.
F-I-S-E.
That says 10 fish dinners, but I'm trying to talk about the dinners that the fish have. What do I do when my plural noun does not end with S, Mason? It's in your notes. Check your notes. Slow down, slow down. Add apostrophe S. So even though we don't say 10 fishes, if we're just talking about 10 fish, if we're making it possessive, then we would say 10 fishes dinners. Okay, so let's look at the guided practice. It says, write the plural possessive form of each underlined noun. We're only going to do the first 6. Number 1. Those experiments' purpose was to teach us more about electricity. Ethan, what is the underlined plural noun? Don't forget-
Experiments.
Experiments. What do the experiments have?
Purpose.
Purpose. So, experiments, that's a plural noun. It ends with S, right?
Yes.
So where does the apostrophe go? Look at your bullet points at the top. What do we do when we are forming the possessive of a plural noun that does end with S?
Add an apostrophe.
We just add an apostrophe. So it should say, those experiments with an apostrophe after the S purpose was to teach us more about electricity. If we added apostrophe S, we would be saying those experiments' purpose was to teach us more about electricity. Is that correct? Did we need that extra S sound? No.
No.
So that's how we know only add the apostrophe. Ethan, don't forget to mute yourself. Number 2, for the first time, the post office delivered mail directly to people's houses. Zari, how do we write that? First of all, what is the plural noun in that sentence?
People.
And what do the people have?
Houses.
Houses. How do we show that people is possessive, that they have houses? How do we write that?
Add an apostrophe and an S.
Good. We write people just as it appears, but then we add apostrophe S. Why are we adding apostrophe S instead of just an apostrophe, Zari?
Because it doesn't have an S before if you did the apostrophe, then it didn't have an S before it.
Good, because the plural form of person, people, does not end with S. Very good. Number 3, the mayor honored the firefighters' heroism. Colin, what's the plural noun in this sentence?
Firefighters.
And what do the firefighters have?
Heroism.
Heroism. This is not written correctly. How do we fix firefighters to show that it owns heroism?
Put a apostrophe after S.
Good. We just add an apostrophe after the S. Otherwise, we have the mayor honored the firefighters' heroism. Is that how we would say that? No, we don't need that extra S sound. Number 4, electrical charges, effects can be dangerous. Smith, what is the plural noun in that sentence?
Charges.
And what do the charges have?
They have effects.
Good, they have effects because we know they don't have electrical, we know they don't have can, we know they don't have be, and we know they don't have dangerous. So they have charges, but it's not written correctly. How do we need to fix charges?
We write charges as it is, and add an apostrophe after the S.
Good. We write charges as it is and add apostrophe because charges is the plural form of what word, Smith?
Charge.
And when we say charges, plural, it ends with what letter?
An S.
An S. So we have to add an apostrophe, no S. Okay, let's do 2 more. Actually, you know what? Let's just go to 8. Maybe even 9. We'll see. Number 5, Ben Franklin won several countries' respect. Sorry, again. What's our plural noun in this sentence?
Countries.
Countries. It's the plural form of what word?
Country.
And it has what at the end?
An S.
What do the countries have?
Respect.
How do we fix that so that it's written correctly?
You would add an apostrophe.
I would only add an apostrophe because the plural form of country is countries. It ends with S. So to show that the countries have something, we just add apostrophe. Oops. Number 6. The church bells ringing woke me up. Carla, what is the plural noun in this sentence?
The plural noun in the sentence is males.
Bells. Bells is the plural form of what word?
The plural form of bells.
No, bells
I mean,
is
bells.
plural. Carla, bells is plural. So bells is the plural form of what singular noun? Bells is plural. What's the singular form of bells?
Bell.
Bell. What do the bells have? Oh, I'm sorry. What does bells end with?
S.
And what do the bells have?
The bell on ring.
They have what? That's not a verb. We're not saying what they do. What do they have? Do they have the?
No.
Do they have church?
Yes.
They do have a church?
No.
No, because remember, it's the noun that comes after. Ringing. Ringing is a noun. That means they have a ringing sound. So what do the bells have?
Ringing.
Ringing. But how do we write that correctly? We need an apostrophe. Do we need an S?
We just add a apostrophe to bells.
Good, because bells is plural for bell. Bells ends with S, so we only add an apostrophe to show that they have ringing. Ethan, number 7. Most lime skin is green, but one kind of lime is yellow. What is the plural noun in that sentence? Don't forget to unmute. Ethan, what's the plural noun in that sentence? Don't forget to unmute.
Lime.
Limes. Limes is the plural form of what singular noun?
Green.
Limes is plural for what singular noun?
Skin.
Well, but listen to my question. Limes is plural for what singular noun? What is the singular form of limes?
Lime.
Lime. What do and limes ends with what letter?
Ends with.
It's right here. It's right on your paper.
Ends with an apostrophe.
Well, just look at limes. The plural noun limes ends with what letter?
Ends with an S.
It ends with an S. What do the limes have in this sentence? Look at the sentence. What do they have? The limes have what?
The limes as
Look at the noun that comes right after the plural noun. What do they have?
green skin. Green skin.
They have skin. The limes have skin. But that's not written correctly because how do we have to write lines to show that they have skin? It ends, look at your tips at the top. What do we do when the plural noun ends with S and we want to make it possessive?
Apostrophe. You add an apostrophe.
We just add an apostrophe. Good. Okay. Does everybody understand? If you have a singular noun, what do you add to the end to make it plural? To make it possessive, sorry. If you have a singular noun, what do you add to the end to make it possessive? Smith.
An apostrophe S.
Apostrophe S. If you have a plural noun that ends with S, what do you add to the end to make it possessive? Michaela. Just an apostrophe. If you have a plural noun that does not end with S, what do you add to the end to make it possessive? Mason.
Apostrophe S.
Apostrophe S. Very good. Okay, go ahead and get out your independent practice if you were at home.
I got it, Miss Polly.
The back is the tiger, but where the front does not have a tiger. So, what you need to do, so before you start, remember, should you ignore this box at the top? Never, ever, ever. Read that box first. The directions say, read each sentence, circle the correct form of the possessive noun. Some of these are singular, some are plural. You need to look at the sentence to figure out, is this a singular noun or a plural noun? Some of it will be easy because we know that geese is plural for what word? Geese is the plural form of what word? Cullen?
Goose.
Goose. So that means we know what to do with it. But some of them, like say you have shrimp. Where are you going to have to figure out how many shrimp there are? Where are you going to have to look to figure out how many shrimp there are? Zari?
What was the question again?
Okay. If it's a word like shrimp or fish or moose or deer that does not change whether it's singular or plural, where do you have to look to figure out if you're talking about plural or singular? Who can help her out? Where do you have to look to figure out if you're talking about one of those things or more than one of those things? Kingston? Somewhere else in the sentence. You have to look for something like a, which means one, or the, which means one, or those, which means more than one, or a number like 6, that means more than one, or 1, that means 1, or each, that means 1. So, pay attention. Some of these are singular, some might be plural. On the back, now turn to the side with the tiger on it. On the back, it says, fill in the 2 blank lines with the correct possessive noun and a common noun. So if you look at number 1, let's look at the example in the box. It says there is one tiger, its body has stripes. So you have to write the correct the correct possessive form of one tiger that has and what it has. So for the first example, there's only one tiger, so they put tiger apostrophe S, because if it's a singular noun, you add apostrophe S. And then it said what it has, its body, so they put the tiger's body has stripes. If we look at the second example, there are 2 woodchucks. Their teeth are long. Well, woodchucks is plural and ends with S. So they only added an apostrophe to the end of woodchucks. And what did they have? They had teeth. So they filled in the blank with woodchucks with just an apostrophe and teeth because that's what they had. So does everybody understand their independent practice? Okay, I will give you 20 minutes to complete this. Use your notes to help you. Science won't take the full hour today, so that means we can start 10 minutes late. So you have 20 minutes. Use your time wisely. Remember, name, number, and date goes on the side without the tiger. If you have questions,